Hi, and welcome to Success Studio. I'm Bill Burnett, and I'd like to give you just a little bit of an overview about who we are and what we do. 11 years ago, or almost 12 now, we opened up Success Studio. It was my dream come true. It was my opportunity to sort of give people a place to come where they could learn and understand how fitness was supposed to happen in a non-threatening environment. Having worked in larger gyms, I know how difficult it is for somebody to start their fitness regimen. When there's lots of people around, and there's people that have been in the gym for a long time, and they're not wearing anything, and it's super intimidating. And I wanted to have a place where people could come and be comfortable and learn what it takes to actually make progress. And not to turn somebody into Mr. and Ms. America, but really to give them an opportunity to be able to live life on their own terms. That there's going to be lots of things you're going to want to do as you grow older, and we want to be part of facilitating your ability to do those things. So, for the next couple of minutes, I'd just like to give you a little brief overview of what you're going to get. The first thing that we're going to have you do is come in and get an assessment. What the assessment does is it just tells us some information about how you move. When you sit down and get back up, that's an exercise. And so, what do we see when you do those things? What are your knees doing? What are your hips doing? What are your shoulders doing? We're going to ask you questions about what hurts. I'm 56 years old, things hurt. And so, do you have things on you that aren't working the way that they used to? Do you have a bad limb? And so what does that mean? And for us, a bad limb means that something's not, that there's a movement pattern that's not right. What needs to happen so that you can get your movement back so that the quality of your life comes back up? And so, the sexiness of some of the exercises that people might have you do, probably not going to get that in the beginning. What you're going to get is exercises that will help you to move better. So when you sit down and get back up, it doesn't hurt. So when you walk through a building, you don't get tired. So the things that you do every day, our job is to help you get better at those things before we add on other things that are probably a little bit more difficult and challenging. And so after we figure out what you do and what you don't do, we'll get you a set of exercises to do that will, go in a plan, and we'll make a plan up for you. And so, you'll get things specific to you, things that you need to stretch, things that you need to strengthen, and we'll work all of that up for you and take you through it. And so the guide is a big deal. For most people, they have a nice car, they don't go in their backyard and work on it. And so for your body, it's a Ferrari. And you want to take the time to understand how it works and what needs to happen with it. And so, we try to make sure that you understand what you're doing, because to me, education is a big thing, and it's our number one core value that we're teaching you what you need to do and when you need to do it. We try to take the mistakes out for you, because ultimately you want to be able to live life on your own terms, do the things that you want to do, live live out the expectations of what, your life ought to be, as opposed to having restrictions on what you can and can't do. And that's what fitness ultimately ought to be. It ought to be a vehicle that allows you to do the things that you want to do with your life. Play with your kids, play with your grandkids, play a sport, just doing those things that on a day-to-day basis you might want to do. That's what your fitness regimen ought to do for you. There's lots of knowledge in here. We want to be able to take that knowledge and give it to you so that you can have it at your disposal, so that you'll know what you're doing and why, and then when to do it. So if all of that sounds appealing to you, what I'd like for you to do is push the button down at the bottom of this page. It sets you up for a free assessment. Um, and after that, we give you some options that you can do. But ultimately, what we want you to think about is having somebody to take you through this and be your guide is ultimately what we want to do, so that we can help you get where you're trying to go. And so, if that's appealing, then we ask that you apply and come on in and let us help you. Thanks.